Every story you love, every invention that moves you, every idea you wished was yours, all began as nothing. Just a blank page with a blinking cursor, asking a simple question. What do you see? Great ideas start on Mac. Find out more on apple.com/Mac.
Big news. Sephora is now on Uber Eats. So if you find yourself facing a beauty emergency, like needing a last-minute gift, or you're just out of your favorite mascara, again, don't panic. We got you. Order now and get $10 off on Sephora orders of $50 or more on the Uber Eats app. Order now. Offer ends October 30th. One order per customer. Additional terms apply. See app for availability. Delivery fees may apply.
But that's the pleasure of the film, though, isn't it? It gives you this broad surface situation where you think, like classic Who, don't you think, oh, okay, it looks like it's being done like that. And then gradually different layers are peeled away. You think, oh, okay, so there's a reveal, then another reveal, then another reveal. And it just becomes so pleasurable to watch.
Most people just know Daniel Craig as James Bond, but before that he made interesting films, and seeing him do interesting films is great.
Welcome back everyone to Flixwatcher. In this particular episode we are weaving a wicked web of deceits. Myself and Andy of Frame to Frame, we are taking over as hosts from Flixwatcher regulars Helen and Kobi, so hi to you both.
Hello, I'm Kobi.
Hello, I'm Helen.
In this particular episode, we are in the driving seat and we are delighted to be talking about Rian Johnson's masterful whodunit, Knives Out, released in 2019, really set the box office alight. We're going to be traversing through the layers of the movie, the performances, and then as usual, we will rank our scores based on the different categories at the end of the episode.
Thank you as always to the mighty people for their mighty, mighty tunes, and thanks to Ben from Rocket Audio for editing this podcast and all of our episodes. Please do remember to head over to Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Pocket Casts and go there and give us a 5-star glowing review and rating. And join the conversation with us on Twitter, also Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky.
Kobi, you picked this one. Why Knives Out? Why this movie in particular?
This year we've had a few interesting films which have kind of broken through, which are original pirate material, the original content. So Weapons, Sinners, I was going to say one bats after another. Obviously that was based on a previous thing, but I still think when an original story is done well, it can break through the malaise we're going through where there's lots of franchise stuff that's kind of hitting there. Having said that, I've loved Glass Onion and I'm super looking forward to Wake Up Dead Man. So it's kind of tactical choice for this because this shows people we still make good films which are new and original, but also I like it when there's a series which has got a great directorial stamp on it, and everyone loves a whodunit when done well, right? Surely.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Do we have any particular favourites in that, like whether they're in book form or movie form?
Is this where you bring up that you grew up not far from Agatha Christie's house?
I didn't actually, no. So I'm from Torquay, so Agatha Christie's original house is 2 minutes up the road from my parents' house. They bulldozed it in the 60s because, Torquay Council were and still are idiots. But you've still got Greenway, you've still got her summer house down near Dartmouth, so that's very beautiful. That's where she wrote a lot of her stories, but enough about my very, very loose collection. So.
I like the reverse whodunit, which you see with Columbo and also like Poker Face.
We now need a Peter Falk impression, please, Kobi.
I'm not going to do that.
I'll do it. Just one more thing. Yeah, it's like they do that. Besides what we're going to talk about now, does anyone have any favourite whodunit books or anything, like Agatha Christie or otherwise?
It's not a genre that I am a big reader of.
I think it's just nice when it's done well, isn't it? Where you kind of, this is detective stories.
I mean, Christie did do some, The Murder of Roger Ackroyd and Then There Were None are extraordinary. Endless Night as well. It's just, I just read those and think, how on earth do you write that? How do you contrive that kind of ending and still play fair by the reader? Which I think is what Rian Johnson does really well in this. Knives Out is really twisty, but it's fair and it doesn't leave you cheated. And I think that leads into the synopsis. So, I mean...
I've got the timer ready.
Yeah.
You've got 1 minute to do.
1 minute to sum up Knives Out. So, are we starting the clock?
Yep, I'm ready.
And go.
So, we meet the Thrombey family, isn't it? In the wake of their patriarch, Harlan Thrombey. He dies under suspicious circumstances. And this leads us into meeting the key protagonist of the whole ensemble, Benoit Blanc, who tries to understand, first of all, who hired him and why. And also, is Harlan Thrombey's death as easily declared as the initial cops and Trooper Wagner declared initially at the start of the film?
Very nice.
Boom.
23 seconds remaining.
And I wasn't going to pull in all the people's names. That's just going to take time.
Yeah, go through every single person sequentially, yeah.
You've done this a few times before, haven't you?
That's probably the best.
Maybe 200.
But that's the pleasure of the film, though, isn't it? It gives you this broad surface, situation where you think, like classic Who Don't You think, oh, okay, it looks like it's being done like that.
Yeah.
And then gradually different layers are peeled away. You think, oh, okay, so there's a reveal, then another reveal, then another reveal. And it just becomes so pleasurable to watch, right?
I mean, you're putting words in people's mouths, right, Sean? You're telling us that we all like the movie.
Yeah, this is like frame to frame. I've got a habit of this.
How many times have people seen this before this watch?
This was my third go-round. Helen?
So this is second for me.
Yeah, third for me as well. I think I did see it in the cinema when it first came out.
Did you do a press screening? Haven't you got a little card of it?
Yeah, I've got the ticket stub framed behind it. There were quite a lot of good films that I saw at the end of 2019. This was probably the best one, actually. Probably the best one from that October-November 2019 period. I think they previewed it a good 6 weeks before it was due to come out, because I think they knew that they got buzz. Lionsgate knew that they had really good buzz on it, so they released it to the press quite early, and it really built momentum after that.
Kobi, what about you? How many goes round have you given it?
I think this is the third time I've seen it, and Glass Onion I've probably seen an equal number of times as well. First cinema, then on Netflix.
I am significantly less warm towards Glass Onion, but that is a different discussion.
Yeah,
I think I prefer Glass Onion, and I don't know why.
Okay.
I tried to have a look at my scores for Glass Onion on the spreadsheet. They're not there. They've been erased. There's some kind of
That's a mystery
to be unravelled in a future Benoit Blanc episode. So,
well, I can say we didn't do it. It wasn't us, but then they would say that, wouldn't they?
It's a mystery. So I was hoping to reflect on my scores in advance of this.
Oh, wow. Well, where are they?
Yeah,
Interesting.
they're gone.
I should just listen to the episode and write them down again.
Like, that movie of all movies has its score disappeared. Yeah.
It's like mysteries, like disappearing ink or something disappeared into the ether.
So I'm intrigued to dig into the why Glass Onion over Knives Out, but that's for another time.
Yeah.
It's a puzzle box of a movie, but I'm interested, Kobi, that you call Benoit Blanc sort of the main protagonist.
Well, it's because in these storylines, Jessica Fletcher is the main, Columbo is the main person, whatever. That's the name. That's the main person who's going to take us through these series of films, these books, these shows. So it's easy to cast that as him being the main person, as the key detective, the key sleuth being the main one behind it.
I think he's an idiot.
You think
That's
he's an
the
idiot?
difference. So I think the whole point of Knives Out is that he's an idiot until that final scene where he's put everything together and it turns out that he's actually several steps ahead of everybody.
He behaves like a goof because that's what catches people off guard. I mean, look, it's a classic sleuth thing.
Well, I don't know if it's deliberate or accidental, in the way that in Glass Onion, he kind of behaved above everybody else. And I like the Benoit Blanc character in Knives Out. I like the way that Daniel Craig has played him with his Kentucky
Foghorn
Leghorn. That's what they call it, yeah. I like the character in this because he shows us at the end that he's several steps ahead. It's another of the revelations of the film. Whereas if he was front and center the whole time, if he was the main character through the whole film, I don't think it would work. And that's kind of where I think Glass Onion fell down.
But I think I understand what you mean at the point when Marta says, at what point did you realise I was involved in the death? And he said, within a minute of meeting him, points to the blood spot on the shoe. I felt when I watched this first time, I felt I didn't think he was goofy. I felt that there was definitely a reason for him doing things. And I think he had his method. In Glass Onion, because you've seen that character for the second time now, I don't think he can have that facade that he's a dummy. Because you can't finish the last film saying, I know you're involved right from the start. But I do like how in both films, he wasn't fully sure how it was all hanging together until there's a moment where he sees a toxicology report, or I can't remember what it was in Glass Onion where he put everything together. I do like those scenes in films where the scales fall from the eyes and you're like, that's how it connects. And that's where it locks in. And that's a really, really cool scene in this film.
You like it when the hole gets filled in from the donut.
Oh,
See, the way he's explaining that donut hole, I'm like, dude, what are you talking about?
it's a donut hole inside a donut
That is
hole.
so
That's
well
what we
written.
thought. It's an actual donut inside its own hole.
Then the donut becomes a hole.
Yeah.
Helen, fewer cats in this movie, 2 large, scary-looking dogs. How do you sit on the film as a whole?
So I didn't see it at the cinema, and then people were kind of like talking about it, and I watched it and I went, yeah, it's all right, but didn't get swept up in it all. But I do think that it's an example of like how kind of like starved people are of original stories, and this kind of film in particular. I mean, I think we're probably all of an age where we watch Clue, and the grip that had of us in the 80s was strong. And yeah, people love a puzzle. And also most people just know Daniel Craig as James Bond, but before that he made interesting films, and like seeing him do interesting films is great.
Even Logan Lucky was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I love that.
We had them as Joe Bang in Logan. That's an episode we've had on here before.
But for a lot of people, he's just James Bond. And I think what this did is it brought people out who maybe like go to the cinema once a year, and they went to see this, and then they went and told their friends, which is kind of makes it even more frustrating that they're not allowing the next one. And Glass Onion didn't really get a cinema release either, and they're not really giving a proper cinema release to Wake Up Dead Man as well. It kind of feels like, why are you not doing this? Like, there's definitely an appetite.
Yeah, given the box office performance of this one, you'd think
You
that
would just
it's
think,
kind of
like,
tested. It's already been tested in there.
Printed money,
Yeah.
like it's very strange marketing that they're doing for it, because people love it. The people love him. People love a bit of suspense.
Doesn't it come down to the business of the whole thing, in that it's actually more valuable to Netflix to be original content, so people have to subscribe to them to watch it, as opposed to them having to portion out their profits with cinematic releases?
I understand 100% why they're doing it, but it's still a shame that people will...
Yeah, it sucks. And on Flixwatcher, I'm not going to bash Netflix too badly, but...
Netflix don't own us. Netflix, if you want to own us, you can own us. Not that much money.
You can buy us.
I'm talking about selling out morals.
Isn't it also that if they give it a limited theatrical window, well, this is for any
Eligible
stream, so
for
it qualifies
Oscars,
it for
yeah.
Oscars, isn't it? Because this got Oscar.
It only has to have that theatrical window in like 5 cinemas in America, so they're not doing it for that purpose. And plus, I don't think this is going to be... Were they Oscar baity, awards baity films? Probably not. They're just entertaining films.
But I think this one was nominated just for its screenplay. I thought it was going to get more than that when I saw this one, and then it just got
There's
the
no
screenplay.
Oscar for best knitwear, unfortunately. So
You know, Chris Evans got a sweater like that for his dog as well.
did he?
Like the sweaters, his sweater era in this is great. That's one of my notes.
This film is probably the rare whodunit. It set a fashion trend. Like, you know, you see Benoit Blanc's array of jackets, and I mean, probably not unlike Hercule Poirot with a moustache. I think every great fictional detective needs like a kind of style hook, or they need something about them that's memorable. And I think, yeah, Daniel Craig's quite natty jackets in this.
He has
Natty
a little
jackets.
swimsuit in Glass Onion, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, his costumes in Glass Onion were just absolutely outrageous. Like,
They are having fun. That's the thing. They're having fun. They're getting people into cinema-ish to have fun.
yeah.
I know, knowing people who run cinema chains, they kind of are frustrated in a way, because obviously they'd love to have a 6-week run and then have 6 weeks or more where there's the window of no streaming, before it goes then to Netflix. But Netflix, they're never going to do that.
Yeah. I mean, they did it recently with Thursday Murder Club.
Did they?
But that was, that had a theatrical release. And Richard Osman basically said that it was a favour to the UK market because the books are so quote-unquote beloved.
Yeah.
But worldwide it didn't.
So, okay, movie release and marketing aside, what do you think about the cast here? Because when you said, I can't remember if it's Sean or Andy that talked about Lionsgate thought they were onto a winner, or knew they were onto a winner. And you can see many reasons why. Rian Johnson, come off the back of probably the best Star Wars film we've had in 3 decades.
Universally
I love the
loved.
way you threw that in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that the Star Wars fanboys really loved.
He's got, the cast here is astonishing, including, where was Captain America at this time? Endgame just finished at this point?
Yeah, Endgame came out early this
Chris
year.
Evans is probably the biggest star, even though I don't see him working in isolation in films. I think he's a good ensemble person to lead a group of people, but I can't see him as a leading man.
I mean, are you saying that his Fantastic Four films weren't great?
Or the Grey Man?
Are you telling me the Grey Man didn't work?
Or
No, it didn't.
Helen's got it.
The Materialists? I liked him in The Materialists.
But again, it's not a leader. It's just it's another person.
If anything, he's the third billing in that movie.
But you've also got, in this, you've got Jamie Lee Curtis, who was fresh off the Halloween reboot, which had just come a year before. So she was newly re-energised at this point.
And then the segues into Everything Everywhere, Everything All at Once.
She was in The Bear as well, wasn't she? So it's kind of like a little bit of a renaissance
One
for her.
episode.
Yeah.
And as Armas is on the Ascendants from Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah. Katherine Langford was in 13 Reasons Why that finished just before. She was the,
Who's Katherine Langford?
sort of main character. Meg.
Daughter,
Meg.
Yeah.
Christopher Plummer in his last,
His
final role. Yeah.
Michael Shannon, who is brilliant in everything and
He's brilliant in
really
this. He's
vulnerable. Yeah.
I mean, I've seen The Flash, so I'm not going to say he's brilliant in everything, but yeah.
He's
You
hardly
guys
in
keep
that.
calling it a whodunit, which I want to question because
It's more of a why done it,
How
is
done
it?
it's how done it because it's pretty obvious that that. I think that's the bait and switch, right? In the at the start, it's obvious that it's Chris Evans' character, and then
Okay, so what point did you realise it's Chris Evans' character that was the main conduit or catalyst?
when it was Chris Evans that was cast.
Really?
Yeah,
Was it?
But why though? Because he's always plays a good guy. Well,
Which I
Again, like
assume
he's-
is why they put him in
the
it,
Grey Man.
right? To try and put people off the
Oh, is
scent,
that what you mean?
right?
well, there's that. Plus, he's like you said, he was the hottest he's ever been at this point. So
In his
you've got
chunky
one of the
jumpers.
biggest. Yeah, you got one of the biggest movie stars. I mean, it's kind of if you look at the Murder She Wrote or your Columbos, the biggest actor is inevitably your killer. So I thought it was pretty clear.
So who's the killer in Glass Onion?
Nobody. It was all just a stupid idea. I think that's Benoit Blanc's actual words. This doesn't make any sense.
I think they tried to
You're
do the
just
murder
dumb.
on the Orient Express thing, wouldn't it? Because
Anyway, we can't give spoilers for
Yeah,
a film.
we haven't episode on Glass Onion.
yeah.
So do listen to that
sorry.
one.
I thought it was. I mean, I'm not normally too good at cracking how done it's or why done it's or will they do it, but I thought that when the fantastic scene in this, when the will gets read out, and it's like they are not going to get the money. It's Marta is going to get it, and Chris Evans is kind of. You think at the first, oh, he's reacting with relish because he hates his family and he's the black sheep of the family. You think he's just reveling in the chaos of it. And then after you think, hang on a minute, like when he starts talking to Marta and like mining her for more information, you think, hang on, there's something going on here. But it still wrong-footed me. It was still really clever how they did it.
I'm not saying it as a criticism, but I think it's fairly clear. And then when Marta gets brought in as a possible suspect, and then that begins to sort of turn it around. But the whole time I was thinking, right, how is Chris Evans involved? His name is Ransom, for crying out loud. He's clearly involved.
I figured it out when they recount the story, and when Ransom comes back, you hear the dogs barking.
The dogs, yeah.
That's when I was like, that's when I thought, I think he's the main person behind it. But it's still, even though I pegged he was mainly probably the person that caused the death, there was still like actually how it happened.
Yes, the how done it.
Which is still interesting. And I don't think I ever fully believed that Marta gave him the wrong injections, because I did think she would have almost just sensed it in a way that Benoit Blanc said. I thought that there must be something about like...
Oh, yeah. So she wouldn't have to look at the vials because as a nurse, she would know automatically what to give him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Who's your guys' favourite characters then?
Who's the favourite character in this?
Asked you guys to think. Helen, have you got a favourite character?
So my favourite is Christopher Plummer's character because he cuts them all out. And
Chaos Goblin.
Yeah, he's great. I love him because...
If only more rich people would do this, if only they would just punish them like that.
He knows what's going on and he is very kind of protective of his creativity and refuses to bow into pressure and doesn't want to make more money. He's more like concerned about protecting his work. And yeah, he just completely cuts them off.
I love the way he couched it as, I've done you all a disservice. I've not let you make your own money.
And his portrait gradually changes throughout the film.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
He
CGI, wasn't it?
kind of looks, he looks more happy as that goes on.
Oh, does it? I didn't spot that either. Yeah, great detail.
Have to watch it again.
He's the only one who treats Marta as like a real person and listens to her and gives her time.
I love how she was Ecuadorian, Uruguayan, Brazilian.
Cuban.
Cuban, was it?
Paraguayan.
Paraguay.
Paraguay comes up.
We're going to have to get into the social satire because this is as much a social satire as it is a whodunit, whodunit. I think that's key to its success, like in terms of how well written it is. But I suppose we can get into that momentarily, right? Because we've still got favourite characters to recap.
One person we didn't mention is LaKeith Stanfield, who I always think is a fantastic screen presence. And he's...
I think Sorry to Bother You was just before it. Get Out was also just before it.
Atlanta's great with him in it. So LaKeith Stanfield playing a very straight role, actually.
He's the straight guy. Yeah. He's the guy in the back. I mean, also the climactic. I mean, his reaction during the climactic vomiting sequence. I mean, he's kind of hanging in the back, but he kind of reacts the way that everyone. He's like, puts his hand in front of his face like that.
That doesn't work on an audio medium film.
No, I know.
Covering your mouth whilst talking.
Yeah. I know. I just realised my mistake there. Yeah.
What about yourself, Andy?
Oh, for me, I absolutely love the daughter. I love Katherine Langford's character, Meg. The fact that, she kind of screws over Marta, but the fact she finds the stash, as we call it, and it's just the one that is kind of living within the ecosystem of the family, but
Toni Collette, guys. We've not mentioned Toni Collette. Sorry.
Toni Collette's great. Toni Collette's great in everything.
She's great in everything.
Yeah. I love the moment where Don Johnson's character just casually hands Marta a plate when he's saying about how
her family have done it right.
Yeah. But he's putting her down as if she's quote unquote the help at that point. Yeah, there are those little moments in the film that are really well played by a cast of
stalwarts,
top of the games. Yeah, they're brilliant.
One of my favourite scenes, which I'm not sure if we caught the first time, is when Toni Collette's talking about her relationship with the family, and she's dancing, and then trying to get.
They just hate her.
Yeah, they can just like despise it. They tolerate her because she's their daughter-in-law, but also she's hanger on her.
Yeah, she's a parasite. Well, they're all parasites, but she's a parasite within a parasitical family.
When she's trying to dance with Jamie Lee Curtis and then stand her up, and Jamie Lee Curtis is just like, this person, this motherfucker.
I don't think she's acting.
No.
I don't think Jamie Lee Curtis is acting at that point.
I love when Marta has been granted the beneficiary in the will, and she's basically chased out of the house. Toni Collette is the first one out. He's like, find me on Instagram. She's like tapping through the window at Marta in the car, like, find me on Instagram, like that. It's like, it's got all that vapid, like, sort of influencer thing. I think Toni Collette nails that.
Yeah.
I think my favourite character is Walt, Michael Shannon's character, just purely for the line, "Do you want some more cookies, Hugh? Here are some more cookies." He waves them in his face like that. Michael Shannon doing angry is always great fun.
What about the great Nana? Like the way she just kind of sits and takes it all in.
Holds the key to a lot of who climbed up the window.
I thought it's quite sad when Benoit sits down and talks to him and says, "I bet I'm the first person to console you on the death of your son." I thought, that's pretty dark, but probably quite true, and ties up how into themselves they are as a whole family.
Yeah, it's those sort of humanist moments that I like in this film that I think that Glass Onion lacked, and I hope that will return for the third one, but
Oh, I don't know. I just feel maybe been a touch harsh on there.
I agree with Andy there. I think this was, for all the chaos in the first Knives Out, I agree with Andy. I think this did feel more human, primarily because of the chemistry between Daniel Craig and Ana de Armas. I think that grounded the whole thing. I didn't really get a lot of that from Glass Onion. It just felt a little bit too, I don't know, tricksy in terms of its structure. Whereas in this, I did get a sense that Benoit was actually looking out for Marta. Benoit Blanc was actually looking out for her.
Do you not think he was looking out for Janelle Monáe's character? Because that was the whole kind of crux of it, wasn't it? Like, buttress this. I'm
not going to spoil Glass Onion.
No.
How's that?
Yeah, this thing. That's a useful get out of jail free clause.
I'm very happy to talk with you off mic, Kobi, about it. But scores. Let's jump straight to the scores, shall we?
Sure.
I'm Sam Clements, host of the 90 Minutes or Less Film Festival, another podcast in the Stripped Media family, a podcast that celebrates movies under 90 minutes long. Each episode, I'm joined by a special guest who selects a movie to join our prestigious lineup. Past guests have included fellow Stripped Media family members Martin and Sam from Song by Song, and Kobi from Flixwatcher, and Dave from The Wire Stripped. Search for us now on the app you're currently listening to this podcast, or join us at 90minfilmfest.com.
So, recommendability. Why don't we start with Kobi?
This has got to be pretty high. Is it a 5? Fuck it. Yeah.
That is Kobi rubbing his hands together in deep conciliatory thought.
Who wouldn't you recommend it to? Come on, let's start with that, because then you can remove...
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think. Who wouldn't I? It's slightly sweary. It's got a bit of death and murder and stuff.
It's a mystery and it's got a great hook.
Had I had the time, I'd have watched it with my children.
How old are your children?
10 and 6.
You would have watched it with a 6-year-old?
Yeah.
I'm not sure I would have watched it with a 6-year-old. I've got a 5-year-old. I wouldn't watch it with him. He would have just been bored after like 5 minutes.
I tried to watch Nosferatu with my 6-year-old the other day.
Which one?
Not the new one. I mean, the old one, the 1922 one.
I was like, maybe wait a little bit for that one.
Yeah, no.
Leave
The one in black. She's a little villain.
Yeah, I'll go 4.95. 4.95. It's high there. It's high.
Sean?
I'd give it a 5. I'd say it's very recommendable. You look at the cast, you look, it's working in a well-established genre of like murder mysteries, which are very, very sellable. Daniel Craig, Rian Johnson. I mean, Rian Johnson was very, very famous at the point this film came out for good and bad reasons. I think we've touched on The Last Jedi briefly, but we're not here to talk about that. But yeah, 5. I'd say this is a really easy sell personally.
I really like Rian Johnson as the way he's Last Jedi, Looper. His films are wild.
Brick, the first film he did was really good. And the neo-noir.
The genres that he chooses are like astonishing. I'm just like, how has he gone from Star Wars to this? And do I prefer this to Star Wars? That's the kind of question.
Even his 3 episodes of Breaking Bad are all, the 3 that he directed are 3 of the best.
And then Poker Face is fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
He did Ozymandias, didn't he, in Breaking Bad? Oh.
Fantastic episode.
And Fly and 51.
He's a great director.
I don't know whether maybe Knives Out feels more personal to him than Star Wars. I mean, Star Wars is just a great big engine, isn't it? It's a great big thing. And I wonder whether bringing everything down to a more intimate level with Knives Out, maybe there's more Rian Johnson in this, like more of that playfulness that you got.
This is almost like his version of Chef that Jon Favreau did after doing...
Yeah, you go big and then you go small or smaller.
But this is, when you go small, this is still...
Still pretty,
Big names, yeah.
Yeah, with this cast, yeah.
Well, he didn't cast Scarlett Johansson as his love interest. And there are definitely fewer beignets in Knives Out.
There's also not a redundant Robert Downey Jr. cameo, which just comes out of left field and doesn't make any sense.
Guys, I know Robert Downey Jr. Let's... Do you want to... Why would I be in this?
Here he is. Yeah.
We veered off track again. Helen, recommendability.
This is a problem, man. When you're host, you have to keep everyone...
You've got to keep everyone on track, else
What's
we
your
go
score?
all wild.
Sean, sorry.
Oh, it's 5.
5.
I think this move's fine. I don't love it as much as you, but like everyone else seems to love it, and it ticks all of the boxes. And have you not seen it? Like, honestly, like if you've not seen this, where have you been? You need to watch this one. You need to watch Glass Onion, and then you need to watch Wake Up Dead Man. Like, I think I am slightly annoyed that it's becoming kind of like a franchise thing, because I do love like an original story, but hopefully they'll do it justice and keep going back to this original one for the storytelling. So yeah, I guess it's got to be a 5.
I'm not mad at it for doing more of these films if they're great.
Well, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, they've got to be good, and they've got to just not
If they're more Knives
reach for
Out
the
than
big...
Glass Onion.
Yeah, and it looks like the new one is going to lean more into that dark gothic sense, which is kind of in the back of a lot of like mystery stories. So I think he's going for a different tone with each one by the looks of it, which I quite like.
I mean, it's following the Harry Potter model. It's following the Kenneth Branagh Poirot model of the third one suddenly going to be a horror thriller movie.
Can I just say, both Knives Out movies I've seen so far are way better than the Kenneth Branagh Agatha Christie ones for me, but way better.
Yes. Agreed. Recommendability, similar to what you guys have said, it's a 4-quadrant movie, isn't it? It's a 5.
So you said you saw, how well did this do in the box office then?
This did extremely well in the box office. It did
it was knocking around for
312 million versus a budget of 40.
Oh, is the budget only 40?
I mean, that's for that cast, that's amazing, isn't it? I mean, I suppose being only one location probably helped quite a lot.
I mean, they blew up a building.
Well, but I'm assuming they all worked to scale because they looked at the script and probably thought, wow, scripts like this don't come around very often. So maybe a lot of them took like a reduction in some of the tax breaks probably in the background of all of it and things like that, I would have thought. But yeah.
Hey, we're not here to discuss tax breaks. We're here to discuss
that enticing
scores.
subject. Yeah.
Repeat viewing. Kobi.
This is the third time I watched it, but I will go back to it time and time again. I can see that every time there's a new film that comes out. It'd be nice if it was kind of wrapped up in a trilogy bow. But also, I know that, hey, money happens. And even if Rian Johnson was to die tomorrow, I'm sure they'd... Actually, it'd be quite interesting because it's a Daniel Craig and him...
Let me continue that thought.
No, because
Let's hope he doesn't.
It's a Daniel Craig and him co-production almost now, isn't it? And those two come as a package. It'd be hard to have one without the other.
I don't think one would return without the other.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. But it might be like a Naked Gun thing where like 30 years later someone goes, fuck it, let's do it again.
Is Liam Neeson busy? It's like Knives Out.
You know what? I could see Liam Neeson's Benoit Blanc. I could see that happening.
Yeah, he was in A Walk Among the Tombstones, wasn't he? As that private eye character whose name's
Kobi, repeat viewing score.
So repeat viewing score.
Sean's blathering again.
Yeah.
I'm going to 4.5. It's, like I said, 3 times in 6 years. It's decent, but I will come back to it time and time again. And with murder mysteries, it's always nice to see if there's other things you missed in the background. And now you talked about the portrait changing. Will I just go on YouTube and see what it looks like, or will I watch the film again to catch it for myself? Who knows? But potentially warrants another repeat viewing.
Sean?
It would be a 5 for me, I think. And like with any great mystery, like you see more and more every time you go back to it. Like the bit with the painting that we mentioned, I hadn't spotted that, so I'm now going to have to go back and watch it again to locate details like that. And there are so many fine-grained details in the characters and the performances. Yeah, give it 5. I'd give this 5 easily.
Helen?
Yes, I wasn't planning on rewatching it. I'd only rewatched it for this. I kind of feel like the fun in watching it is kind of finding out the reveal. And when we've got there, I was like, okay, next one. Give me the next puzzle to solve. So I give it 2.5.
Yeah, I'm similar to you in that once you've seen it, you've seen it. Like, I like going back and seeing it again to see what was threaded through. I wouldn't have watched it again ahead of the next one. I probably wouldn't have watched it again were it not for this podcast. I'm glad I did, but I can give it a repeat viewing score of 2. Small screen score. Now, I'm going to make a confession in that I watched half of this on my phone on the bus, so I am actually very, very qualified to talk about its small screen
Small screen just means not in the cinema. That's what it means.
But then there's not in the cinema, and then there's not in the cinema in capitals a lot on a bus. So yeah,
not all small screens are created equal.
Equal, yeah. yeah.
Kobi, what's your small screen score?
I had a blast with this in the cinema. With the collector's experience, I had a blast with Glass Onion in the cinema. I'm super looking forward to watching Wake Up Dead Man in the cinema. It does fine in small screen, but I think for a first watch with other people, you can almost sense other people's brains whirring and trying to work out what's going to happen with these kind of films. I think it's nice to have that in the cinema. But it does look it's fine on the small screen. I'm going to go for 4 for a small screen score.
Sean?
Yeah, I think having seen this when it originally came out in the cinema and now again on the small screen on my laptop, not on my phone, I think it does lose something, because I think even though it is only set in one location, I think the cinematography is really dexterous and it's beautiful film. And Nathan Johnson's score, those jabby, like Bernard Herrmann-esque, like folky strings.
I wondered if you were going to bring that up.
Yeah, it's just that bit when Marta is beset on all sides by the people who want to, like, you know, she's in the will and they're all angry. The score in that bit is just fantastic. Very Witches of East, John Williams. But yeah, I think on the small screen, those nuances do get lost, I think, a bit more. So yeah, I'd say small screen score probably 2.5.
Helen?
Yeah, so I feel like maybe had I seen it in the cinema with everyone else, I might have been a bit more on board with it rather than just kind of like, let's see what this is all about on Netflix. So I will try and see Wake Up Dead Man at the cinema if it's on when I'm there, just to kind of have that shared experience and kind of have a nosy and see who comes out to see these films, as it's always quite interesting. So, but likewise, it kind of, I think with these ones, especially as Columbo and all those kind of like TV series are very much watch at home, it does work quite well. So I'm going to give it a 4 as well.
I think it works very well on the small screen. I'm going to go 4.5. Engagement. How engaged were you in your repeat viewing, as we've all seen it before? Kobi?
Well, I think I'm going to give it a 5. First watch, you're trying to work out what's happening. Even when you have a theory as to what's happened, it's like, is my theory proved correct or not? And it's always nice to see how it unravels. On subsequent rewatches, it's what did I miss or not? You know, these kind of things. So I will, even though, you know, I've seen some episodes of Columbo more than once, and each time it's still like, at what point does he twig that it's the guy that he's speaking to? It's always nice to do that again. So I think these films are eminently engaging. So yeah, let's go for 5 for it.
Sean?
Well, I'll go 4.5 because no experience will be as engaging as the first time that I watched it.
You never forget your first time.
Exactly, yeah, I know. Yeah. You put that so much more eloquently than I did. Yeah, it's that first time in the cinema was completely enthralling, because I think it had played at one of the festivals, like Toronto, I think it might have been. That might have been why Lionsgate did the preview screening early, because the response from Toronto was so good, and that was a joy to watch it play out on the cinema screen. Of course, the more I watch it, the more it inherently loses that sense of mystery, but I'd say the engagement is still pretty high overall. So yeah, 4.5 I'd say.
And Helen?
Yeah, so the first time, obviously, really engaged to find out who did it. And then the second time, obviously, watching it for this and making notes, but also getting into the IMDb trivia. Like, there is a lot of trivia for this film. Like, a shit ton of trivia. Like, if you like this film, you need to get into this trivia because there's a lot going on. And that...
Doesn't that take away from your engagement score if you're on IMDb at the same time as the film?
Yeah, no, so we kind of got to give it a amalgamation of the two. But just because obviously I was like, yeah, I know where this is going. But yeah, there's just a lot of stuff. The stuff about like this title and the working title, Morning Bell, they're both from tracks on Radiohead's Amnesiac. And obviously Glass Onion's a Beatles one, but those kind of like things where you're like, he's really thinking about what's going on in this. So I would recommend, probably not when you're watching it. So as a combined score, it probably works out as an average of 4.
Well, I'm going to go lower than everyone then. I'm going to give it a 3 because first time it would have been a 5, second time it would have been a 4.
So these are your parameters you've impinged on it on a subsequent watch, the engagement score. I think...
Yes.
I've never done that, but sure, you're the host.
My engagement on this viewing.
Sure.
You know, because like Sean said, the more you watch it, the more you're familiar with the way that the sausage is made.
The tricks of it, yeah.
So a bit of trivia that you might like, Andy. So the Thrombeys are all named after 70s rock stars.
Are they really?
Who's Ransom?
Except Ransom.
Okay.
Who's named after a character from C.S. Lewis's Space Trilogy. But Richard and Linda are Richard Thompson and Linda Thompson. Joni Mitchell. Neil Young. Walt and Donna are Walter Becker and Donald Fagan of Steely Dan.
I would never have got there.
So Wake Up Dead Man is a U2 single song.
Yes,
Now, that doesn't bode well.
Your mileage on U2 may vary.
Yeah.
I'm not that enamoured. I like Hold Me Through Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me. The fact I think that's my favourite song of theirs shows where I'm at with U2.
It's a good song.
A Beautiful Day always used to remind me of football, but other than that...
New Year's Day's all right.
How do we sit on the overall score, Kobi?
So the overall score is 4.09063. Lost a fair bit in repeat viewing, which I thought would have ticked up a few points.
So do you want to play higher or lower than Glass Onion when we had Glass Onion?
I think this is higher.
Yeah, please say it's higher. Yeah, I want it to be higher.
So what did this get, Kobi?
4.09063.
Glass Onion, according to our scores, had an average of 4.42.
Oof, there you go.
Wow.
See, guys, it's you, Andy, trying to be clever with the engagement score.
What if I move my engagement score up?
It's too late for that now.
It's too late. It's castings, don't you? Can't change that shit now.
Damn. Thank you very much, both of you, for getting us on. I think that your 400th birthday has been great fun for us across these 2 episodes. I'm curious to know, over the 400 episodes, what's the best and worst score in films?
Oh, for us or at the top and the bottom of the table?
For you. Which ones have you done that have stuck the best, both? I mean, if you don't have the scores to hand, that's fine.
Yeah, we haven't got the ability to do the number crunching with that.
Fine.
But
what are the ones that have really stuck with you? What are the ones that you think back on and go, you know what, I'm really glad we did that?
I like films where I've not seen them before and almost pre-written them off and then people bring them on. So a classic example is All About Eve, which I'd kind of heard about and it's like, oh, it's a black and white film from the time before And when I watched it, I was like, shit, I need to watch more films like this.
I love those profound experiences where you think you're not going to enjoy something and it's like, oh wow, like it opens up like a whole other like doorway into a whole load of other things. Yeah, I love that when that happens.
Yeah, when I first watched 12 Angry Men.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a good movie.
What was the other one that came to mind? Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Apart from Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
Not age well.
Yeah, that bit hasn't. But when you watch films like that, and that's what, and Helen and I have talked about, that's why it's great when people come on and bring their film choices, and you hear, first of all, hear the reasons, and then you watch the film and try and have an open mind. And I've discovered so many more films throughout the process than I would have done if it's just me and Helen choosing every week.
Thanks. And Helen, what sticks out for you?
So I was on another podcast actually talking about this.
Holy
so
shit.
That's how much it had an impact on me. So I think probably like my favourite film from the 400 episodes is 20th Century Women.
Okay.
Which
Is that the first time you've seen it?
I'd never seen it before.
Oh, really?
It was picked and brought to the table. I'm a big Greta Gerwig fan. I'm a huge Mike Mills fan.
Was it Louisa from Girls on Top Tees?
From Girls on Tops. Yeah. Who brought that?
Shout
How
out
do
to
I
the
remember
t-shirts
that?
as well.
That's nonsense.
20th Century Women is terrific. Yeah, good choice. That's a really, really fantastic movie.
Yeah,
that.
you were predisposed with Greta Gerwig on that, Helen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's not the main character,
No.
yeah.
She's a side character in that. It's Annette Bening, isn't it, who's the main character.
Also, from that, I then watched Beginners, who Christopher Plummer was in and won his award for, and Come On, which I also really love. So it opened another
Mike
door.
Mills to you.
Mike Mills door, yeah.
Yeah. Was Come On, the wrestling one?
No, the Joaquin Phoenix
Okay.
black and white one.
Oh, the one where he's with the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The A24
Yeah.
one. Excellent. Well, thank you very much again, guys, for inviting us on for the 400th. It's been a great pleasure. And just as a listener, it's fantastic that you guys continue doing what you're doing and having not only such great guests, but having you two on. The way that you guys bounce off both each other and your guests is a testament to you. So here's to 400 more.
Wow.
There's a commitment for you.
Yeah.
Suddenly it's like, what?
Yeah. Don't be overawed by that task. It's just the beginning.
Only, another 9 years or so then?
Yeah, exactly. Thanks so much for joining us, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Likewise.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming
Cheers.
on.
Bye.
Bye.
Enjoyed this episode of Flixwatcher podcast? Why not leave us a 5-star review on iTunes? You can also follow us at FlixWatcherPod on Twitter, and we're at FlixWatcher on Instagram. Thanks as always to the mighty people for their mighty tunes and Rockwood Audio's editing skills. If you're looking to get your podcast edited as sweet as this, get in touch with Rockwood, ROKK Wood Audio. Tell them Flixwatcher sent you.
You just heard a Stripped Media production.